This body knows from just my conversations in the hallways, I am a proud dad of two amazing daughters. They're remarkable young ladies that I am terribly proud of. I was also one of those dads that was up way before dawn when they were in middle school and high school because they were cross-country runners. Cross-country runners in high school have a long-term saying that their sport is other sports' punishment. They're at 6 a.m. doing stretching out, running a mile, so they can then prepare to go run 5 or 6 more just to be able to start getting ready for cross-country meets in the fall. They were remarkable athletes in high school, and they enjoyed that. They ran with guys and ladies when they were training, and all of their time in the training time because the team was a team of guys and girls. But when they actually got to the competition day, my daughters competed against other girls in that competition. Because what we all know to be a fact to be true, that boys in cross country that are training for cross country and girls that are training in cross country, both great athletes, have different times to the finish line. That's just a reality. It's not one negative on another. It's not diminishing one to the other. It's a reality. In the last Summer Olympics, the woman who was a remarkable athlete that won the women's marathon as the greatest runner of our time, when she came in as the gold medal winner, her time would have been beaten by 67 of the men who ran in the Olympics, in the same sport, same distance, same track, gold medalist for the women. The top 67 men running in the marathon would have beaten her. Where am I going with this? This is common sense that we all know and that we've all seen in our own families and in communities. It's the reason that we have protected women's sports for years, to be able to make sure women and girls have the ability to be able to have great competition, to enjoy the joy of sports and all the lessons that you learn from sports, and to be able to have equal competition levels. But in the past few years, really very, very recently in our country, there's a movement to be able to say, if a biological male or transgender individual wants to be able to compete in the women's sports area, they should be allowed to do that. The question is, who is that fair to? Is that fair to this transgender individual, or is that fair to the other female athletes? Because culturally, there seems to be a push to say, I don't care if it's unfair to the female athletes. I picked this one transgender individual, and I want to be fair to them. I look at a whole team of other folks and to say, who is this fair to? Now, this seems like basic common sense that 15 years ago wouldn't have even been a dialogue in our country. 50 years wouldn't have been even in discussion in our country. But now we're having this dialogue now. This is not about disrespect for any individual or the rights of individuals to be able to make choices in their own life. It's about respecting the rights of women and girls in their sport to be able to compete on a level playing field, to make sure they're able to thrive in their sport the same as men are able to thrive in their sport, and to enjoy the thrill of competition without the intimidation of someone crossing over into their sport to be able to take it away from them. That doesn't seem unreasonable. But for some reason in this room, contrary to the rest of the country, this is some kind of irrational conversation. It's not. It's basic common sense. But in this room, we just had a vote this week to be able to say women should compete in women's sports and men should compete in men's sports. And in that vote, just to begin the debate on the bill, to say, let's open it up for amendment, let's talk about this as a concept, every single Republican, for just that simple of a bill, said, let's start debate on this and figure out where we're going to go. Every single Democrat said, I don't want to even debate this. This is not up for discussion. Well, it is up for discussion. But where it's up for discussion is in homes and families and communities all over the country. Because in homes and families and communities all over the country, there are lots of dads like me of amazing daughters that are saying, I don't want my daughter to compete against a biological male. Because there are inherent advantages in some sports and in some speeds just based on bone density and muscle structure. Again, it's not negative towards female or male on that. It's reality and basic biology. Families across the country are talking about this. And for some reason, this room is allergic to talk about it. Well, we're going to continue to be able to bring this up because Americans have an expectation this is going to be resolved. I'm grateful to President Trump that he has rescinded the Biden administration's executive order allowing transgender individuals to compete in girls' sports. That's a good thing. That sets ladies across the country at ease to say, let's go play soccer. Let's go running cross country. Let's go do the sports that we want to be able to do and not have to worry about somebody hitting me in the face at high speed in a volleyball game, but to go compete on a level playing field. That's a good thing, but it's an executive order. It means it doesn't last from president to president to president. I don't know what the next president's going to do, but I think I know where Americans are still going to be. They're going to want to say, let's compete. We may all train together. We may be all friends together. We may all hang out each other at school. But when the competition comes, give me a fair level playing field for competition and watch people compete and enjoy the sport. That's what sports have been about. At least that's what they used to be about. Now they seem to be about political messaging instead. So we're going to continue to be able to bring this up. Grateful to Coach Tuberville for the work that he has done on this. Grateful to President Trump for the work that he has done on it. But it is unfinished business at this point, to the great frustration of a lot of families around the country, including in my own state of Oklahoma. That I yield the floor.